Hi, I'm TJ. Is this Poppy?
This is Poppy.
Oh, yeah. Hi, nice to meet you. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of run through some of the list of behaviors that you'd like to work on. We'll try to see if we can catch any examples like the jumping, and then we'll run a couple of tests, and if you have time we can get her to meet her boarding mates before you head out. I don't know how much time you have before you have to leave or anything.
Yeah, we have time.
Okay. All right.
I mean, most of the examples are going to be in the house, jumping up on everything, chewing everything.
Oh, nice.
She's usually pretty good outside.
Okay. And we'll go for a little walk to see what that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, really the only time she pulls on the leash is when she sees other dogs.
Perfect.
Or humans, but I mean, it's not that bad.
Do you guys live out in like the countryside or in the city?
Yep.
You guys...
We're in like Falls Church,
okay.
So suburbs of DC.
Okay.
But it's not. It doesn't take us long to get down there.
Okay. I was just seeing how much of an issue the pulling would be when seeing dogs and people.
Oh.
Sometimes if you're out, you know, if you're mostly out where you don't see anybody every day, then it's also harder to practice, but also doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're kind of in more of an urban environment, it might, it might have some merit.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of. We live in a neighborhood, and there's lots of people with dogs and families and stuff. So, yeah, we see other dogs, but it's not like an issue or anything. Let's say, right?
No. Something I was actually going over with the other puppy's parents the other night is just how certain things how certain things tie into one another, with her like counter surfing and just jumping up to get things that she wants. It's like that impulse control. So sometimes learning and practicing different ways of developing that, like when she sees somebody that she wants to meet and she impulsively wants to go towards them and jumping on them, but instead stopping and walking back to you.
Yeah.
Same thing with dogs, same thing with food on a counter.
That makes sense.
So even though they're different issues, a lot of them, kind of coincide with the same kind of practice.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It'll actually work out pretty well that she'll be having a little bit of overlap with the other pup, because I actually need to have some time alone, where the other pup needs to actually have some time alone, and now that I'll have 2 other boarding dogs to rotate, I can work.
How many can you take at one time?
I usually try to just keep 2, but we have overlap of 3 for just a couple days. But it works out well, because now instead of like one working, one resting, I could work the first one by leaving her alone and set up and record, just make sure that her not jumping and counter surfing behaviors are good while I'm out working with these 2.
Yeah.
So that'll be at least a couple hours or so, 2 or 3 hours. So it kind of works out. Before it was just a lot harder to do. It's one of those things where not generally used to or should be leaving dogs alone,
Yeah.
So I have to, it's weird because I have to try to mimic a more normal home environment, kind of almost like setting them up with certain things that they can and can't get access to.
Yeah.
Like I told her, I know it'll be the easiest solution is to just not leave food on the counter, but I know that that's not always going to be ideal for families that are busy or have guests over or have children over, things like that.
I mean, it's not
right?
just the counter. If we're just sitting and eating dinner, she'll bark. She barks when she wants something.
Okay. Well, we can definitely work on that. But
Good girl.
good girl,
Poppy.
good potty.
Poppy.
There you go.
Good
Oh
job.
yeah, you're expecting a treat.
Yeah. Oh, here you go.
Good girl, Poppy.
And
Here.
she doesn't have any allergies, right?
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
That
yeah.
we know of. Good girl.
Here you go. Good job.
Yeah, she's good at going to the bathroom when we do go outside, but she also...
We'll go inside.
She hasn't peed in a while, but
That's good.
the other day, she's peed once or twice in the past couple of days. And it's interesting. So since we talked to you, you noticed twice, which is good. In the evening, she has gone to the back door, which is the door we generally take her out, and she's scratched, and
Good.
she's gone
Yeah, that's
out
great.
and had to go poop.
Okay.
That said, she's still had a few times this week where, like, she and our other dog were playing pretty vigorously for like 20 minutes, and she immediately pooped. Like, she like right after they took a brief break, and I thought they were going to keep playing. Otherwise, I would have taken her out then. But she didn't even like blink and kind of just started to poop. So
That makes sense. It's
mixed bag, but
it coincides with her kind of puppy behavior and age. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes they either don't know to hold it for a while or they haven't developed the ability, or a combination of the two. So like with the two pups now, the same kind of example, right? They're playing, and when they're playing and they're drinking water, they almost have to pee more often as well. So I know that as soon as they stop playing, I take them out to get outside, and 9 times out of 10, they have to pee right away, right? So
yeah.
the pooping is a little bit odd because usually it's just peeing, but you know it's the same idea.
And she can hold it for a while.
Great girl.
She can hold it for a while.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, peeing, I don't think she's had an accident at all this week, maybe? We've been pretty good about, like, pretty religiously taking her out after, any of the key times, like after play session, after meal, or she drinks a lot, and after she wakes up from a nap or comes out of her crate.
What we'll be mostly trying to concentrate on is getting her to get into the routine of signaling before going outside. Because we're going to be going outside a lot anyways, on top of when I think she might need the potty, because we'll be going outside for not only normal potty walk times with everybody, but also her training sessions. So we want to just kind of get her in the routine of doing something before going outside anyways, because we're going to be going outside a lot.
Yeah.
And hopefully it kind of connects to her whenever she has to pee, that she has to do that routine of signaling. Now, also just being outside more often will help with maintaining and hopefully promoting going while outside anyways.
Yeah. She's pretty, when we do take her outside, she's generally pretty good about going,
pretty fast.
particularly on leash. If we let her off leash, she takes a little longer because she moseys around and sniffs, but she goes. And then it's much more difficult when our other dog's out there because she just wants to play and it's distracted.
Yeah, that makes
She'll
sense.
pee pretty quick, but pooping takes a little longer.
Yeah, I've got a client's puppy who is very nose driven. It's like a hound mix. And so they're still working on getting used to being outside. So when they're outside, they're too distracted to go potty. But if they let them out in the backyard, it's kind of routine and they can go potty. So sometimes the distractions really means a lot, especially, like I said, because they haven't really developed that thought yet. It's usually like thinking about other things, gotta go bathroom, gotta go now.
Yeah.
You know, unlike with us, it's like thinking of other things. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Let me finish this up first. Let me see when I have my next break. Can I hold it there? Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll hold it. Now I can go.
Yeah.
You know, we have a whole like system in place from like years of developing. Nobody ever remembers the potty training portion of their life. But we want to try to get them closer to that like subset of things. So when we notice that she stops playing and she starts drifting, hey, do you need to go potty? Hey, do you want to come and give me paw? Hey, no, don't go potty out there. Let's go potty out here. Good job. Perfect. Do I have it in me? I might have used them all this morning.
I always have it in my pocket.
Oh.
Here, I can go into the car.
Oh, there's a
bag thing up
yeah, there's a station up there.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
just grab it on the way back.
Yeah, I mean, she's very smart. She might be one of your easier dogs, but we just don't have the know-how or time, frankly.
No problem.
You get a jump start and then carry it on. What else did we do with the first one? Was the signaling to go out, the jumping.
The, like, self-soothing.
Like the chewing and stuff. Again, part of it, I guess, is just she's a puppy, but maybe that ties into impulse control, the chewing on things. And,
that can also just be boredom and lack of activities.
Yeah.
Another thing we're going over with the other pup parents too is just the difference that it makes when they have like a full day, because like I said, it's a lot harder sometimes with normal families that have like the 9 to 5s to kind of get in the amount of activity that the pup might actually need. And different puppies of the different breeds will require different energy levels. Usually like huskies and shepherds are like way up here, labs sometimes in the middle, and then other breeds lower on the totem pole there.
Well, it's a double-edged sword, because I would leave her out during the day more if I thought she could be out of my sight for more than a second.
Right.
And we have noticed that she does settle more on the days that she's out of the crate longer, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But she kind of comes in and out. I'll let her out for an hour midday when I'm working, and then she's obviously out at night, and sometimes she'll settle by the end of the night, and sometimes she doesn't.
Gotcha. Yeah, because on average right now, we've only got this in recently, but just to kind of track activity and have a GPS on my boarding pups while they're out. Yeah, it works out well. It has a trading function too that we use for one of the pups.
I think once she gets spayed, which is going to be shortly after we get back, we hope to. There's a couple of like doggy daycare places where they get to play with other dogs all day, and I think on days where we're both busier at work, sort of thing, I think the plan is to take her there on some of those days to help her expunge.
And also bring her to the dog park.
Yeah, it's really her not being spayed is limited. The interaction we want to have with other.
January 3rd.
Gotcha. Well, luckily we don't have any unfixed males hanging out.
I don't think she's gonna leave it either.
But that's still early. So this was just yesterday.
Oh wow.
For one of the pups. And it's going to fluctuate a little bit depending on how busy it is.
31,000 steps. So what, is it a tag you put on them?
Mm-hmm. It's like one of those FitBark kind of collars.
Oh.
That's cool.
No. So it's been averaging anywhere from 10 to maybe 15,000 on a high day.
Well, she's going to take more steps than the bigger dogs.
Yeah. So is that the amount of activity dogs sometimes needs is a lot more than most people anticipate, but with that level of activity, then the puppies that are usually more active or getting into things when they're home, and you'll see in the other parents' video too, because I'm trying to do a contrast of like when they're left alone and they haven't been out and about, and then when they've been left alone after like maybe a hike or a dog park session, and it's almost like night and day. So
I believe it.
It'll be like a combination of things to try to make your life easier. Working on her not jumping and not getting into things. It's only part of that equation. Making it easy for her because she's tired and had a full day also makes it easy for her. That's another part of the equation. And then, of course, the last part of the equation is how you set up your environment.
Yeah.
Right? So there's multiple things that we can work on for the same issue.
Yeah.
Most of that first part is going to be just me and her. And some of it, like the last part, is something that you guys can try to figure out at home. And I'll be able to kind of offer suggestions and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, it would be great if she would drop something and we asked her to drop it.
She's gonna give me that.
Oh yeah, she's been doing good so far.
You'll see when it's something that she wants to chew on.
Okay.
Like we have a toy basket. She doesn't go for the toys. She wants to chew the basket.
Like a wicker basket.
And any, plastic, cardboard in the house, cardboard boxes that we've had around. She just like shreds.
So sometimes what you do instead is to kind of switch up the different textures too. So
Yeah,
like
we've tried.
if she's trying to just stripe cardboard boxes, go ahead and save one from a small Amazon order, and instead of going out to the pet store and buying like a $10 or $15 toy that she's not interested in, give her that to play with, and then clean it up, and then put it away. And then when you don't want her to play with something of a similar kind of texture like another box, you just micromanage and have two available. You're like, yes, no. Because it's going to be hard for pups to differentiate. That's why a lot of dogs like socks.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of soft like their normal kind of plush toys that they get.
And my slippers.
Yeah, and slippers. Shoes is a whole other thing altogether, because I had this poor lady and she had a lot of shoes. But when we try to teach her to leave a pair, and she does, it works out. But then when she gets a different pair, or like sandals, Uggs, I think they're called.
Oh yeah.
And loafers, heels, they're all, to us, they're all shoes. But to dogs, they're completely different things, especially sometimes when they look a little bit different like that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to kind of get that practice in. So like even when you have two exact things, teaching the dog to play with one but not the other. We'll work on things like that, and I'll make a video to kind of show you how that works out. But that's why things like that could be very difficult. You almost have to micromanage their interactions until you're confident that they know everything in a room that they shouldn't be getting into, right? So like not leaving the TV remote on the coffee table unless she sees the TV remote on the coffee table and you're there to tell her, no, don't play with that. Hey, play with this, and put like her toy next to it. Little things like that, because I'll be able to teach her yes and no and drop it, but I won't have all the same items that you might have at home, like ornaments. That was actually funny, because her boarding mate Darby, who loves balls, we were over at another client's house working with their dog, and I don't have a Christmas tree in the boarding room, of course, so she's like, oh, ornament balls, and she started to play with the balls like she likes to play with balls. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, we can do so much work on our end, but it's gonna be really hard to like drop a whole net over everything.
Yeah.
Only play with toys. That's what we would like, right?
Yeah.
They have no idea what toys is.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, it's something we can do, so we do try and manage. Like, we don't let her, she pretty much stays in the room that we're in. Maybe can go into an adjacent one.
Yeah, so this will be a good practice, right? So finding something that that she should leave but might be interested in, right? And then having her actually leave or drop it herself for a treat, as opposed to pulling her away. Leave it. Good, come. Good job. All right, let's go. Right? So that's going to be part of it, is that recall part. So not only getting her to redirect, but that's okay, you can just hold her there for now, because we want her to actually give up trying to go for it. But not only getting her to redirect from something, but then actually moving her away, because if it just stays right in there, that temptation is still right back in the face. And so as soon as you're done redirecting and giving her reward, she feels like that activity is done, right? So that's why sometimes it's really important that they learn to just give up on things all on their own. I'll take the leash for you.
Oh, there's just like a sock here.
Perfect. This is why leave it with puppies is so easy / hard at the same time, because you can get so much practice just out in the real world, right? So she sees it, she's trying to get it. Yeah. So she's got it. Yes, good. Yes, good. So she dropped it on her own. Prospects of a treat, but it's not like I showed her one to lure away. You know, I got her attention and then asked her to come and then rewarded her. So it'll be hard, especially at first, to just pull her away with no possibility of getting something else, right? Especially with puppies and people and everything in general. It's almost easier always to at least have the idea of trading, so they're not just feeling like they're giving up something for nothing all the time, right? So now this is where that impulse control and the leave it part comes in, right? So getting her to recognize her name, recognize the leave it command, come back, ignore the sock for a treat without having to pull her away. I want her to kind of give up a little bit now, but we'll practice with, just forgot her, Poppy. Let's see here. So we'll also practice her name, right? So Poppy, right? Poppy. Yes, good job.
She does know her name.
Very good.
And she knows the scent.
And you see that that really helps, right? Because I'm using the leash just to keep that boundary so she can't get to it, and then get her attention so she can redirect back to me. Now, the hardest part for most people is to not have that boundary, right? We almost need this in the beginning so we can practice her redirection and impulse control. The hard part is doing it often enough that she gets conditioned to just leave things even unsupervised or on her own, right? So we're gonna try to walk by it again. Come on, Poppy. Poppy, leave it. Good. Come. Right?
I guess you just walk around the house with a leash.
That's what I do a lot when I'm practicing leave it, because I want to eventually get it to that point when I don't need the leash. And then you'll know, because she'll respond to your verbal commands before the leash gets tight. Instead, right now I'm using it as a boundary. We're gonna slowly walk over to it again. Poppy, leave it. Good, thank you. Right? So that's going from step 0 to step 1 to step 2. Step 3 is the hardest one, when we kind of just walk by it and she leaves it on her own for a treat. I want her to see it though, and then make that decision actively, because I don't want her to keep her focus on me. Good. I want her to ping pong her focus.
Nice tasty sock right there.
Good. Halfway there. Because she kept her focus on me, she didn't have to pull herself away and use any self-control from the sock, because we used discipline on focus on me. Do it one more time. Poppy, leave it. Thank you. Good job. Okay. It's 3/4 of the way there. You can see why this is such a process. I just wanted to run through this full real world example for you guys.
No, this is great.
Poppy, leave it. Thank you. Let's go. Right? Now it's going to be that much harder when it's an actual food, you know,
Yeah.
or when it's something that she really wants, like a ball or something. So,
Yeah, she loves sticks, so like we have some kindling for the fireplace. She
Oh,
goes
nice.
for that. slippers.
You want to give it a try?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll give you a treat. I only have a few left, unfortunately. Forgot to reload after last night's session. Oh, this could work. She's already into something else. So go ahead. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. There you go. I would reward her for that because you saw that she looked at it, went right back to her. There you go. And then.
Leave it. Poppy, leave it. Poppy, leave it.
Good. Very good. And therein lies a very critical problem is even if we can get them to do it once, supervised, it can be a completely different thing with a completely different item, unsupervised. Just a ton of practice with different items and just behavior in general.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
it's
let's
not
try
like
again.
she chews everything,
Poppy,
so
leave it.
we could
Poppy,
probably
leave it.
prioritize what items,
Poppy,
you know.
leave it. Good girl.
There you go, good.
Girl.
Good. So now the question for her is, how hard was it to not just try to pull her away from it instantly?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Right? It's what we're very much used to, but that's why we want, here, we'll hold that for Dad so he can practice with her. We'll do one more round with him and then we'll kind of move on.
Oh, I can hold it.
Oh, that's okay. All right. All right. Perfect.
Out of treats.
So now we'll do it without the treat. Very
Good
good.
girl.
There you
Good
go.
girl.
Poppy.
Good job.
Yeah, good girl. No treats, but some love.
Good girl.
Yeah, good sweetheart.
Go. Yeah, and then right back. Right?
Poppy, leave it.
Good. Right? She's like, let me find something else
She
then.
did leave it.
Yeah, she did good.
Partway there.
Yeah. And then she's like, all right, let me find something else to get into. So that's why I say it's really, really good to correct a dog,
Poppy,
but it's
leave it. Poppy, leave it.
good girl.
Good
Come on.
Girl. Good girl.
It's really, really good to correct a dog, but it's way better to redirect a dog.
Yeah.
Because like if we had maybe a stick toy or something else that she can chew on, and I've done this with pups too on walks, right? Just giving them a stick so that way they have something already in their mouth. They're not just going and picking everything else up,
Yeah.
right? Same kind of thing, thought process wise at home. She has access to all these toys, but she chooses these things. Now, is it also because she has access to those things? Because if she only had access to the toys, would she be interested in those things? You know, so it's like really finding toys that she kind of chooses to be engaged with over, like I said, a remote or something like that.
I lost where we're going. Are we that way?
Oh, we're back that way. Here, we can cross the street first unless you want to keep practicing with the sock.
Come on, Poppy.
Come on.
Big girl.
Yeah, 16 or so.
All right. You guys have any questions for me?
No, so you're welcome to text us on WhatsApp for the first week. There's going to be about 4 days the second week that we're going to be probably out of service.
Okay.
But I think I sent you phone numbers for emergency contacts that are all in Arlington, so.
Sounds good. Hopefully we won't need them.
Yeah, we'll be in South America, so. Similar time zone, but pretty far away.
Cool. Just do me a favor, and if you could just text me on the app too when to use that and when you're back. So that way I'll know
sure,
what to go back and forth on.
Sure. I mean,
Just because I always have people text me on like the regular messenger.
yeah,
and so,
sure.
like,
I mean,
I'll
and you
forget.
can, I use WhatsApp in my day-to-day as well, so.
Perfect.
But yeah, we're leaving at 1 p.m. today, so.
I forget. We said pick up on the 31st or the 1st.
31st.
Okay. Could not remember. I think we get a program first.
Yeah, we land at 10 a.m., so we'll be able to pick her up sometime in the afternoon on the 31st.
Okay, yeah, that should be fine.
There you go.
I think
Real
I
world.
have a 1 to 2 on that day. So.
Okay.
Oh, look, we got another pup. Let's say hi. You want to say hi? Yeah. Say hi. Thanks.
This is a dog finally your size.
The spin dance.
We are so used to this dance.
Aw.
Where are your dogs?
Oh, they're in there.
Say hey, dude. Oh my gosh.
About to introduce her to some of them right now.
And we don't mind. We have so many dogs in my family. We're so used to it. How are you guys this morning?
Yeah, how are you?
Pretty good. Say hi, Disney.
Oh.
That's such a cool move.
Look, my daughter was determined. I was like, we're not getting a dog. She was like, we are. And 13 years later, here we
Aw.
are. And your name
This
is?
is Poppy.
Hi, Poppy. Oh my goodness. I called my daddy Poppy. He was Poppy Chulo. You got a kick out of that for some reason. It was totally inappropriate, but
Aw.
hi, how old are you?
7 months.
Are you? Oh my goodness.
He's like,
You
oh,
are so adorable.
good boy.
You're so cute.
So cute
Just
and
having
so
a day.
crazy.
There you go.
I love that though. It's like keeps it fun.
Good job.
He's so calm now. Like
How old is he?
He's 13.
13. Oh.
He likes. Sometimes he doesn't like to walk as much. But today he was like, let's go for it.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, you
Well,
guys
nice
have a
seeing
good
you
walk.
guys. Thank you for letting us say hi.
Thank you.
Bye, Poppy.
So that's a really good example too that we can touch on as well, because part of the reason why we go on like the social sessions is so that way she can actually get that real world practice of not jumping on other people. Because yeah, after a few times, good girl. Oh. That's fine. After a few times of doing it with me, it's a lot easier for them to know to not jump, right? Whereas they get excited again when meeting somebody new, and that's really where you need that practice in. And you can kind of see there, we're reverting back to using the leash to get her off and down, and so she's not doing any of the work again herself. So kind of teaching her how to do that situation, as well as teaching you guys how to do that situation, just like with the Lilo, right? Because if we're always kind of tugging her off, she's not learning to not jump in the first place, and also not get down by herself in the first place. You know? And it's understandable. We'll kind of walk you through how we work on that as well. All right. Cool.
We have food for her. Do you need that, or
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
brought a crate? But what's your she's not on
Yeah.
anything special, but we weren't sure if we needed.
Let me take a look at her setup to see, because I have crates and everything and beds.
Oh, sorry, not crate. No, it's just a box of food.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, which again,
Kind of. What we'll do is let's let her meet her roommates first.
okay.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna go just fine, but
Sure.
just to be on the safe side, and that way also it'll be a little less hectic in there when I have to introduce her to everybody else.
Okay.
And then I'll let you guys say goodbye to her while I take her stuff in, and then I'll take her in.
Okay. Cool. That sounds good.
All right, I'll be right back. Girl. So this is Sammy. She's also she's a little bit younger, but she's been here for about a week, so she's starting to kind of build the habits, you see. And the goal is to help her out as much as possible without having to micromanage her, right? Who's that? Who's that? Yeah, good girl. Go sit. Go sit. There you go. So a big part of that, as you saw, is having her check in on me first. Now she's still working on jumping on people for attention too. Oh, you're so excited!
You're gonna have fun, Poppy.
Right? So now that she's excited, she's thinking of jumping again. So now when she sees you guys, it's going to be really important, and I'll give you a treat each, that you had to help her out still and ask her as soon as she looks at you to go ahead and, to go ahead and ask her to sit. So the next time she stops playing and looks at you, go ahead and give her that initial command. Good. Yes, good girl. Good break. Okay. So we'll have her meet Mom first here. Mom wants to come over this way. And that way we'll leave him behind. There you go. And now when she pays attention to you, go ahead and ask her to sit.
Sit, sit, sit.
And just wait.
Sit.
There you go. Good.
Good girl. Oh, no.
Right?
Sit.
Good. There you
Girl.
go. Good. So that excitement and energy level, and something that you'll want to work on too, is just giving that one command and staying calm and waiting for her to execute. Because a lot of the times, and this is a good example, right, is when we continuously pump in commands or move through hand motions, it almost encourages them to continue engaging.
Sit.
Very good. This way. Yes. And so to avoid that jumping behavior, you have to be really preemptive, right?
Yeah, this
Good
is
girl.
also a great example for when Poppy wants something and doesn't have it.
Mm-hmm. I hear that. One more for her. Sit.
Good girl.
Nope.
Yes, good girl. Come. There you go. And now if you want to take Poppy, we'll do the same thing with Dad. And your goal is to be as preemptive as possible when she turns to you and starts coming over to kind of give her that command. So you're trying to interrupt that flow of excitement with with giving her something to do, right? Okay. That's all right.
Just get her.
Yeah, but she'll look at you. It's a little bit harder now because we're practicing her redirecting back to me in social situations. Good. Come.
May I just sit?
Yep. So when she pays attention to you, you can say her name too. Oh, there we go.
What's her name?
Sammy.
Sammy. Sammy. Sit. Sit. Sammy.
Good.
You sit. Sit. Sit.
Perfect. There you go. Okay. So it's not perfect, but she's been practicing for a good week, and you're mostly combating that excitement when it comes to puppies because they know what to do. It's whether or not they're too excited to focus is the problem. So that's why you have to take advantage of the social practices whenever you can, so that way she can get that practice in. Yeah. Oh, good sit. Good sit. She almost wants to give paw already, which is perfect. Yeah, good job. So that's what we're going to probably do to help wean her off of the barking, is to have her kind of paw or give me paw to signal for attention as opposed to, because it's coming off pretty natural.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Does that, which
Yeah.
is preferable.
She might have picked it up. Yeah, she might have picked it up from her. Yeah.
The only problem is the other dog is much larger, so her paw is.
She's like,
Really
wow,
gets your
She's
attention.
like whacking you with her paw. Okay, we should probably head out.
Good girl.
You guys are gonna be pals.
Yes,
Poppy
good
loves to
girl.
play.
Thank you. Touch. Touch. All right, and I'll be right back with the last one, and then we'll say goodbye. Touch. Touch. Thank you. What is that? Darby. Good girl. Wait. Okay. And this is the girl that also has had heavy counter surfing work, but mostly also like that impulse control and that social work, things like that, right? So really having her maintain composure until a release. Hi.
That was certainly great. That she did that one.
And then same thing when she goes to see you guys.
What's her name?
Darby.
Darby, sit. Darby, sit. Sit.
Good, there you go.
Girl, good Darby.
Good. Now, when she comes to you, hold
Darby,
the treat
sit.
lower. There you go.
Well, you did say.
And that also helps to prevent, there you go. And that also helps to prevent her popping up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times what we found when we were working with her, that it's, good girl, yes, thank you.
I know, Poppy, you're sitting. I'll give it to
A lot of times we found that while we were working with her, with me, she's less likely to jump from practice, but if she knows that somebody else has treats and they're high up, like when she holds to her chest there, she's more likely to jump up to them. So it almost like those things that we inadvertently do that cause the problem, right? So when you kind of palm her down, very good, and then she knows to come back this way for a reward. So she can interact with them, stay low, and I have the guest treat her down here, and then she pings back to me, if especially prompted to, if too excited, or not prompted afterwards. So a lot of things, you know, should be automatic now.
She's so cute.
There we go. You know, like I said, it's the difference between teaching a behavior and then actually teaching a dog to be able to work through their excitement to execute that behavior. She's like, any more in there? Good girl.
She's 7 months?
Yeah. Good. I know you're doing so good too. Yes, you are. Thank you.
Like, I'm sitting.
Good girl. There you go. Much better. Good. Good girl. Good girl. Yes, thank
You
you.
are adorable.
You're doing so good. No, you guys are gonna get plenty of treats. But it usually, like I say, it gets kind of offset with all the activity that they get as well, so it helps. And then also it depends on the pup too, because I can trade her out with balls or like sticks too for training, because she's very toy motivated. And sometimes pups that really like squeaker toys or something like that too is a good thing. We have like a red bag that she likes too. Good job, guys. Very good. Very good. Alright, I'm gonna go put her away. I think these guys will be just fine too. What do you think, Poppy? What do you think? You have any questions or anything that you want on the recording before I stop it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Right? Got attention. Yes, good job. Good job. All right, come on, Darby. Darby, come. Good girl.
Hi, Darby.
She likes you, Lilo. What do you think? Good girl, good people. Okay. Okay, okay, Lilo. Sit. Good. Puppy. Good sit. Good job. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good puppy. Good girl. Come on, Fiona. Thank you. Good girl. Girl, good girl. Alright. Now do you respond to good girl too? Okay. Good girl, good puppy. Come. What do you think? What do you think, Bobby? Fiona. Sit. Good girl. Thank you. Give me other paw. Thank you. Good kiss. Oh, thank you. Good girl. Sit. Wait. Give me paw. Give me paw. Give me paw. Come on, you can do it. Yes, there you go. Here, we'll have Fiona show you one more time. Okay. Thank you. Good job. See that? Okay, you ready? This paw? Yes. Almost. Yeah. Oh, almost. Oh. Sit. Good paw. No. It's okay, we'll work on it. We're looking for perfect. Good job. Good job. Good paw. Good girl. Thank you. Good girl. Come on. Down.